X. The godmother of Montauter, near the village of Claren, on the shore of the romantic Lake Leman, was where Babette and No. 39's godmother lived, an English lady who lived with her daughters and a young cousin. She had just arrived in England when the miller and No. 39's owner came to visit and announced the news of Babette and #39's marriage. He told the story of Rudy, the shooting contest, and the story of the young falcon. In short, he narrated all the engagement stories, much to the delight of his listeners. Everyone loved Babette, Rudy, and even the miller. They invited all three of them to visit Montreux for a day. This lakeside is where poets still praise. There, on the banks of the clear blue water, Byron sat under the pecan trees, writing wonderful poems praising the prisoner who had been imprisoned in the castle of Zion. A little further away, under the shade of tall trees in the village of Claren, Jean-Jacques Rousseau once strolled and dreamed of Miss Heloise. A little behind, near where the Rhône River flows into the lake, there is an island so small that from the shore one can mistakenly think it is a boat. 100 years ago it was just a cliff. At that time, there was a beautiful lady who brought out soil and planted 3 Dalton's hop trees, whose branches and leaves now cover the entire island. Babette fell in love with that place. In her opinion, it was the most beautiful place in this beautiful landscape. She wished, and quote, "It must be so nice to be in that beautiful paradise." And quote, she wanted to pull over, but the boat went straight and stopped at the Vernick wharf. They walked between the white, sunlit walls that surrounded the vineyards of Montreux. In front of the peasants and No. 39's thatched roofs were many clusters of fig, laurel and cypress trees. Babette and #39's godmother and No. 39's house was halfway up a nearby slope. They were welcomed very warmly. Babette and #39's godmother is cheerful and gentle. When she was young, she must have been like Raphael and No. 39's fairy. Now, with her silver hair, she looks like the Holy Mother. Her daughters are slim, elegant ladies, dressed in the latest styles. Your cousin was dressed in white from head to toe. He had blonde hair that turned red and a long mustache that matched his hair. From the very beginning he showed much interest in Miss Babette. In the living room, on a large table there were many paintings and beautifully bound photo albums, but no one thought to look at them. The windows on the balcony were wide open and from there one could clearly see the entire view of the beautiful lake. The lake water is so calm that the snow-capped villages and mountains of Savoie reflect in the water like a mirror. Rudy was always so bold and cheerful, but for the first time in his life, he felt that this place was not suitable for him. Walking on the poker floor with you for so long. The Englishman and No. 39's gestures were too formal, making him uncomfortable. He sighed with pleasure when he was able to go out for a walk. But the annoying thing was that they walked very slowly, so much so that he could take 3 steps forward and 2 steps back and still keep up with them. They visited the gloomy, ancient Sion castle, surrounded by lakes on all 4 sides. They saw the prison, the torture tools, the wooden cutting board for beheading, and the trapdoor. It is said that prisoners were thrown through there onto iron spears stuck in the water. Byron had made those places famous in the world of poetry, but Rudy felt miserable. Almost imprisoned. He leaned his elbow against a window and looked toward the small lonely island with 3 nightshade trees. He wanted to live there, away from the society that made a country hunter like him uncomfortable with its chatter and provincial ways. On the contrary, Babette was happy and joyful like a fairy. When she returned, she told Rudy that and added that the young Englishman praised her as a perfect young woman. Rudy replied, curtly, "And quoi, is he? He and number 39, a perfect clown." And quoi? That was the first time he said something that displeased Babette. That young man gave Babette a beautiful book, a French translation of And quoi? The Prisoner of Zion and quoi? By Byron. Rudy said again, "And quoi? It may be a good book, but as for the flattering young man with smooth hair who gave me that book, I can and number 39. Love him. And quoi? He looks like an empty flour bag to me." The miller said, laughing loudly at his joke. Rudy laughed even harder and saw that the miller was a very talented joker. Read the next part, The Ice Goddess Part 11. Thank you for joining us for today's fairy tale. We hope these stories bring joy and meaning to your day. If you love our channel, please hit the subscribe button so you won't miss any exciting tales. Wishing you a good night and sweet dreams. See you in the next story.